So, I would like to dedicate this to a 3-year-old boy who used to play this pretty obsessively back in. Was I 3? Was I 6? Either way. Uh, used to play it basically all the time. Although it was the old version I used to play, understandably. I used to play it on the Acorn Archimedes. Um, what I didn't realise as a child was the Archimedes version had a fun little feature where if you get to the end, you defeat the final boss, the game loops around. You start playing from the first level again, and it means that I don't know if you keep playing indefinitely or if you finish the second loop and that finishes the game. I've no idea. Never managed it because the second loop was harder, and it was harder than I could deal with as a child. But anyway, Gods is a pretty. It's an arcade game. This song, the original version of it, rather than Heaven to Hades, was repeated into The Wonderful. You can find the song on Spotify if you look for it. It's pretty good. Um, when you play, the box, the back of the box used to advertise that this game has. They build it as an innovative, adaptive difficulty. Um, Purely, all that is there are certain trigger points around every one of the levels that check how you're doing. If you're doing badly, some of the trigger points will give you bonuses, they'll give you power ups and stuff. If you're doing well, most of the trigger points will give you treasure. They'll give you points, they'll give you money. And that's kind of it. That's the adaptive difficulty. I'll get my teeth in. Um, Other than that, this was made by the Bitmap Brothers. If you don't know the Bitmap Brothers, they made some downright legendary video games on the Archimedes, on the Amiga, possibly one or two others as well. Look up, I don't know, Xenon, look up, I forget the name of the ball game that they made. Either way. Mm. Oh, gonna start a fresh game. Tooling around on this last night, but didn't do that well. So, leaderboards, I don't know. You can't buy this anymore. There seems to have been some kind of kerfuffle involving the licensing. It wasn't available on the Steam store for that long, but if you bought it, you keep it, so it's fine. Yeah, you can. This is new. Used to be whenever you started playing a game of Gods, you just always start from the city. Although I don't believe it ever actually told you the name of the stages. But no matter. There are some other changes. I'll cover them when we get to them. But oh no, my progress. It takes about half an hour to complete a stage. It's an arcade game. It's not long. This used to be delivered if you waited on the title screen, but it didn't look like this. Also, he looks way more jacked in the original art, though. Any man may earn through skill and courage a single favour, if he will face the fear of the ancient city and slay the 4 great guardians who have stolen the citadel. A hero stands before the gods and asks that if he fulfills their quest, he will join them as an equal. Only the hope of the hero's failure comforts them. The warrior departs for the city of legends, preparing to carve one more story on its walls. So, this guy has hiked up to the top of Mount Olympus and basically said, look, want to be a god? And they've said, well, alright, we've got these cities full of monsters, just go take care of that, would you? That's it. That's all the story you needed back then. Now, what we will do, the very first thing we will do, is, when we start the game, loading times, is we are going to change the graphics from this to the original. We're going to play this the gentleman's way. Much as Civi insists that playing Doom in ultraviolence is the gentleman's way, Gods must be played with the original graphics. So, trap. Rule of thumb, excuse me, if you see a switch, flip it, then flip it back. Because the position of switches is one of the conditions for certain trigger points. It's kind of a puzzle thing. Also, when you're killing enemies, they'll usually come in groups. Make sure that when you kill the last one in the group, it's stood in a place where you could physically get to it. Because a lot of the time, the last one in the group will drop a gem like that. Also a speed bonus because I got to this specific point in a specific, within a certain time limit. But yeah, because I flipped that back and now I'm carrying the key, it unlocks that shortcut. Now, we're not going to take that yet. What we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to kill these while they're over here. That chicken leg will come in slightly useful later on. Anyway, go in there, just flip the switch back and forth, just kill enemies. Oopsie doopsie. Now, what you want to do is retain as many lives as possible. Also as much health, because one of the things this game does is at the end of every level you get bonus points for how many lives you have left. You also get lives when you hit a certain score. So you can probably see where this is going, but the more lives you have, the more lives you accumulate. Now, I believe the trigger for this... Okay, there's a bonus for you. If I come down here and just unlock this, I think if you've taken the shortcut to get up here, and you hit the world switch at the top there before you have the key, then if you see there's a little secret button on the left at the top of the ladder, that will be... a platform juts out and you can activate that. You get a bonus for it. However, there is another way of doing it, and it's really goofy. I do not know how we found out about it. I used to play this game an awful lot with my old dad. I think also the fall damage used to kick in there, but I'm not certain. Anyway, you drop into the shortcut, and we come here... We come in here even though we've been all the way to the top because you get some more gems. That's all. That's the only reason I go down there. The reason I don't take the shortcut immediately is because I like to mess with the sort of the trap buttons. Anyway, if you stand pretty much here, so that the back of the guy's heel is just past the door, then you come back and you fiddle with the button. For some reason that works. I don't know. It's like you've left the level. But anyway, special bonus. And then out you go. Lives are worth, excuse me, well, I think it's 2,000 points each. So that adds up pretty quick. Right then, come to your left. That unlocks something later on, don't worry too much about it. I think you want to kill the ones on the right first. Anyway, get the key and move up to the left again. And what you want to do, take that, which is a high jump potion. They are very uncommon and they're only given to you at very specific points. But carry on up here for a lot of stuff. All of that. Now, jump here to land there. Jump here. Get more stuff. By this point, your high jump potion is probably worn off. Take the starburst. The way that starburst works is, if it hits an enemy, it makes another starburst. That's it. We're not getting that gem at the top. It can't be reached now, but that's not a massive issue, really. Enemy spawns are being a little weird for me today. Don't do that to me, silly goose. Now head on back to the left, kill some guys, get some more gems. Gems also give you money that will be relevant at the end of this level. It's always at the end of the second and third level, I believe, that you get the thing. Anyway, get the shield or invulnerability, whatever you want to call it. Tap that, jump down, and then immediately step down here to kill him. because otherwise he's a real pain in the neck to kill without getting hurt. Care of all that. Duck down to avoid whatever the heck that actually is. I don't know. Health and lives bonus, because I have a certain amount of health and I have a certain number of lives. Jump over that. You can jump over them, sometimes it's a little finicky. Now if you go up here, more monsters. But you can kill them before they touch you if you're quick. Got a bit of lag there, I think. Anyway, got a key. And we want to jump over when it's at the lowest point. Would fall down. Maybe I need to hit the other button. Well, anyways. Weapon arc, which just you'll see has focused. Yeah, it's an intense weapon arc. Focuses your fire to a very narrow cone in front of you. Usually, you kind of don't want to take them if you can help it, but the game normally forces them on you. Notably, never buy them in a shop. Never buy a different weapon arc. It's just never a good idea. But we'll move along. Oh, so that guy works his glutes. He has got an ass that won't quit. Now then, and oopsie daisy, and yep, needed to press both of them down. I do forget some things, but by and large I do remember a lot of this game. I think I can play the first two stages in my head without being in front of the screen. Like the first two worlds, not the first two stages. Which, yeah, man, I've spent a long time playing this. Alright, you come down here, and you want to focus on the ones on the left first. Because one thing this game does occasionally is it will spawn enemies that have a differing amount of health, and so some of them are just more lethal than others. They never do more damage, they just have more health. Trapdoor closes beneath you, very good. Do that. You can, if you inch in here, you can just about press the switch, but I'd never remember what it does. I think if you have a key of some sort, it, you know, opens that, closes something. I don't know. Anyway, get all the stuff. You can also just open all the trapdoors like that. I think there's a health bonus. If you've got really low health and you cross here, you get a help bonus which just refills your health. Now, I don't know why, I always used to call those Minotaur heads Toby when I was a kid. I think they used to remind me of Toby jugs. Anyway, we kill them because it gives you points, and we want points because then you get lives. It's fine. I don't think there's anything else up here, really. Goodness, I love a Pepsi. Right then, so we brought some pots to the stores, and now I can fill my inventory with junk. I don't recall if there's a reason for having these. I think you get some kind of bonus if you're carrying the right flasks at the right point. Beats me. In the original game, you could only carry 3 items. So that's actually kind of a nice change. Although it's... you don't need to be able to carry 4 things. It's, you know... certainly an option that you have now. It's not a one-to-one port. It's very similar, but it's not identical. If I was going for full optimization, I probably would have hurt myself and picked up the health bonus. But, hey-ho. Right, we're about to get the shop potion, which it's bizarre that it's a potion, but anyway, it calls the shop. Or rather, it calls the merchant, who has the biggest sack in the world, apparently, based on what he's carrying. Just that small sack over his shoulder there is carrying an awful lot of throwing knives and an awful lot of shurikens, although this is now just throwing... I swear that used to be called shuriken. So, one of the rules of the game is that you have a number of inventory, like, weapon types. So, the knife is a primary weapon. So is the throwing star. So if I try to buy the throwing star, I'll get a warning saying that this will replace the knife. But I do want that. You'll also notice there's a power potion here which increases weapon power. Kind of not what it does. What it does is it adds 1 to every weapon that you're carrying. So if I've bought a throwing star, yeah, 1, and I buy another, and I buy another, now I'm carrying 3 of them. If I'd have used the power potion, I'd have gained 1 extra throwing star, up to a maximum of 3. But because that costs 6,000, and the basic throwing star costs 5, it's better to just buy them. If you have like a combination of weapons, sometimes the power potions are worth taking. Not always. Not often. If you find them on the field, then yeah, right. Now this section, you want to work pretty quick. So move along here. Just kill everything. Don't worry too much about picking up the gems because we will be coming back down. Kill him. Kill him. And then kill him in relative safety. Get up here. Slap that when he is done. And that. Right. So that's your way up. So what you want to do is come along here and drop down there. And then come along here and drop down there. Take this. Drop down. Jump potion. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you get a bonus for solving that puzzle by jumping up. If you wait a long time and you don't solve it, then a trap will appear over the jump potion and you'll get given a teleport gem instead. And you just don't get the bonus. That is not what you want. If I ever seem to be just attacking things off screen, it's purely because I know where a lot of the enemy placements are. It's just, I've got a lot of this memorised. Permanently memorised. And there we go. Also, they do make an audio cue when when they spawn. Right, you see the fireball there? That is like a secondary weapon. We like the fireball. There's a score bonus, and if you get over here, that is speed, lives, and score bonus. So I've got that for getting here with a certain number of lives, with a certain score, and within a certain time. If you don't do the jump puzzle down below, you can basically forget about getting in this room. Good grief. And I did have an incredibly salty breakfast. Yeah, went to a local park for their weekly 5k, and haven't done one of those in quite a long time. So I thought I'd reward myself with a bacon sandwich. Now then, I am sure there's an invulnerability that's supposed to spawn when you try and come along here, but I have forgotten how to get it to happen. Really sucks, because that means I'm probably going to get hurt fighting him. Well, no matter. One of the very rare games where you actually do contact damage, but you don't want to, because butchering enemies to kill them deals a lot of damage to you. Like what I did with that guy down there was a big mistake. And then up, and then up. And we're getting to the nice open air section here. Love that architecture. And fireball. I believe you can carry a maximum of 2 of them. Is it fireball? I forget. I think it is actually, yeah. Alright. I'm coming along here, but there's no reason to. Well, you can kill him a little bit more easily. And then jump in here, grab this. There should be a spawn up here somewhere. Yeah. You sort of, to play optimally, need to have remembered where the enemies spawn, because sometimes you need to be sort of attacking the moment they appear on the screen. Now, these things, I hate these things, because their spawn is so unpredictable and sporadic. You really want to come over here and just clear out this whole area. They all turn into monsters. They all scream for some reason, like Chris O'Neill. But it's... I don't know what it is that causes them to spawn in. It just happens almost randomly. Sometimes they'll all just appear right away, and it'll be nice and easy to deal with. But more often than not, you have to just sort of wander around a bit and sort of cajole them into wanting to kill you, which is like it's what they're for. Why are they waiting? Anyway, bag of gold. Considering that a gold pickup, like an entire sack of gold, is worth 400 and a life is worth 2,000, yeah, lives are valuable. Anyway, I think you can just slap him from here. Yes, you can. Right, now this is one of those things that we discovered by accident. So if you jump, then this platform... all that stuff is already on the left, but the platform only starts moving once it appears on the screen. But because I jumped across, that shelf retracts and gives you some more gems. There is a way to get across here using a teleport gem later on, but if you do it that way, the shelf doesn't ever retract. You just don't get those gems. And yeah, we looked at those for quite a long time, just wondering how you got them. But anyway, hit the switch and drop down. Because you hit the invulnerability before you hit the floor, the fall damage doesn't kill you. Kill them, open the door. This is kind of a puzzle as well. Lets you get the Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt is a very special weapon that you only get to use on this one level. It just does some extra damage to the boss. It's not a big deal, really. But if you don't have it, whatever. It's not hard to get. It's also the first piercing weapon you get, because you can see it will pass through terrain. It's not that relevant on this level, but whatever. I'm not taking that door up top, by the way, because there's no reason to. It just takes you back to that platform that retracts with the gems on it, but we've already got that, so it doesn't matter. Trapdoor key. Opens the trapdoor, because there's something down there. And then we move down here, and again, work the loots, love it, love it. This is the boss. He's real easy. You come in here, door locks behind you, because it's boss time. All he does is kind of walks back and forth. You just need to remain at a certain sweet spot distance from him, and his shots will just bounce over your head. It's not even a thing. Then up we go, and we tag the shop potion, because you like the shop. I believe these used to be called tomahawks. No, well, it's magical axe. This is a very special kind of weapon. You can only carry 2 of them. It bounces along the ground, and you won't be replacing these for a very, very long time. In fact, I think until stage 4. Now, anytime you have spare cash, what you can do is just buy extra lives. Because I don't need the cash for anything else. But if I buy extra lives, I get more points, I get more gems, I get more lives, over and over and over. If you can get to the point where you have like 15, 20 lives, you really start pulling in a lot of goods. And that is level 1. There's not much to it. Go back with level 2 after the bonuses.